challenging perceptions through education and humour, empowering you to be more disability confident. Hey Gavin, I heard you're changing the world. Do you want to tell me all about that?
Yeah, that's a hell of an intro. Do you know what? I never thought I would, but it does appear, and I say this with a serious amount of hubris. I'm humble about it, but yeah, I'm doing something that is changing the world, and it's an exciting place to be. In fact, just this week, so you're getting an exclusive here. My company, with this particular thing we're going to talk about, have just won the World Summit Awards Global Champion for inclusion and empowerment of disabled people.
Congratulations.
Okay? And we're the first UK company to win it for several years, which is just any of the awards, but it's just absolutely stunning. And it's for Welcome, or as a lot of people are calling it, Welcome Me, but it is Welcome.
I love that. I have been a massive fan of yours for a very, very long time. I am a great lover of Welcome, and I look forward to being able to really use it to the best of my ability when the world opens up again. So for those that don't know you and don't know what Welcome is, please can you explain?
Yeah, heck yes. So Welcome came about from my time. I worked for Guide Dogs for the Blind for a little while, but it came about when I was following a client into a shop and I would see the staff member struggle with how they were going to interact with the person. And I thought to myself, why are they struggling? Why is the staff member unsure as to how to interact with a guide dog owner? Because it's obvious. You introduce yourself, you don't talk to the dog, you ask the person what they're there to do, you say you're leaving if you're walking away, you don't say things like over there or follow that corridor or something like that. So I just thought they're all really obvious. And then I thought to myself, well, what if my guide dog owner could train the person before they walk through the door? What if 2 minutes before I arrived at the venue as a guide dog owner, I could let the person know how to interact with me? Well, that would do two things, well, loads of things actually. It would empower the disabled person to be in charge of the relationship. It would help the staff member feel comfortable when the person walked through the door how to interact. It would build loyalty in the visitor to make sure that they wanted to go there again. It would build confidence in the person to actually feel good about their job. It would improve the income for the business if that's what they were doing. It could be a health center or a cinema or anything, but it would improve how well they served, and it would provide other people great best of practice when they saw two people interact. And I just thought, wouldn't it be cool to do that? So the long story short, we created an app which somebody downloads for free. They put in some very basic information, photograph, name, and stuff like that. They say what they would like customer service teams to have an awareness of. We don't mention disabled or disability anywhere in the app. And it's totally free, as I say. And then there's an automatic trigger that before you walk through the door that you say you want to go to, they get a message, and then the app itself gives them loads of background information, not personal information, but generalized. So if you meet any blind person, make sure you say, hello, my name is, at the start of your conversation. If you meet any guide dog owner, you don't talk to their dog. You say to the person, your dog looks amazing, what a lovely dog. And then you get back to the order of the day, which every guide dog owner will be like, thank you very much, that's very kind of you. Most times they're going, please don't talk to the dog, and then having to go, yes, I know you've got dogs. I know you have a pet dog. Oh, he can smell my dog. Yeah, I know that, but please don't talk to my dog because, yeah, okay, no, lie down, sit, and then it's just like a nightmare. So I thought, well, wouldn't that be good for visual impairment? And I thought, wouldn't that be good for every person who's disabled? And then the epiphany moment was 85% of people who are disabled have hidden conditions.
Yes.
So what if I could let somebody know, if I needed them to know, that I was dyslexic before I arrived at the job centre, so that I didn't get asked to fill out a form just to get over the door? What if they knew that I had a hearing impairment so that they didn't have a light source behind me, or that it would be nice to go to a quiet room? Wouldn't it be good if they turned down the music if I was autistic before I even walked through the door? And how cool would they feel if I was able to do that? And we did all that, and that was nominated for the World Summit Awards, and we won Global Champion, which was won in 2017 by Be My Eyes. So we're definitely heading in the right direction.
Absolutely. It's truly fantastic. I am so happy that you're getting the recognition, the entire team are getting the recognition you deserve, because this really is a global solution for customer service, disability awareness, and without making people feel like they have to sit through, 2 or 3 days really boring, not interesting conferences of how to interact with a disabled person. And then,
Uh,
10 months later, 2 years later, they move on and the whole process starts again. So from the perspective of a disabled person who's used Welcome, it's truly fantastic. So the first time I ever used it was one of the first places it was installed, which was Edinburgh Airport. And the service was phenomenal. So I created my profile, completely accessible with voiceover. And I explained that I'm blind, I was a guide dog owner, I would require assistance of sighted guiding, and basically when I would be turning up for my flight. And the beauty of not only Welcome, but the whole, what it represents for me was that I truly felt like I was a customer. I wasn't a disabled person. I wasn't a disabled customer. I was a customer that was being treated exactly the way every other customer is treated when they reach the airport. So, okay, I did go to a separate building, and okay, I was sighted guiding, which as a visually impaired person, that's common. As a sighted person, you don't tend to sighted guide other sighted people. But the beauty of the whole situation was that I felt empowered as a disabled person.
yeah.
I felt that my needs were being met. I didn't have to explain my backstory of why I'm disabled, why I'm blind, etc. And most importantly was the fact that I was treated like everyone else. And that to me is why Welcome is such a fabulous piece of kit, basically, because it allows a disabled person to not have to share their disabled story. They're just seen
Oh,
as a
3 or 4 times
person.
a day. Or, I mean, every meeting you have, please don't talk to my dog. Please don't talk to my dog. Please don't talk to my dog. Please introduce yourself. Please don't do this. Please do that. It's like, oh my God. But I mean, I totally believe that disabled people can do the training. But you shouldn't necessarily have to do it verbally everywhere you go.
No, and if you are going to do it, you should be paid for it.
Yeah, well, for sure. Well, yeah, as you said at the very start of your chat there, you said you go to a conference and somebody says this is how you should interact with a disabled person. Well, truly the best way to interact with a disabled person is to interact with a disabled person and actually feel comfortable meeting somebody. I love the idea of people still getting trained. And I use trained in inverted commas because sometimes it's not about training, it's about realizing the person's a human and
Yeah.
actually not being nervous about meeting them. Scope had an amazing campaign a couple of years ago called End the Awkward, which was a recognition that an 18 to 35-year-old felt awkward when they were talking to somebody who was disabled.
Mm-hmm.
If we can take away that awkwardness, there's a saying which is a stranger is a friend you haven't met yet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with Welcome, they're a friend before they walk through the door,
Mm-hmm.
even if you haven't met them yet.
Yeah.
And that's, oh my word, everywhere. Hospitals, train stations, airports, cinemas, health centers, swimming pools, coffee shops, pubs, restaurants, everywhere can improve the system. Now, I'll just let people know this is free to the user. You download it, it's free. The venue pays a monthly subscription. It's tiny, and it will get smaller and smaller the more venues we get signed up. And of course, they get more people through the door. So everybody wins.
Mm-hmm. And there are currently 1.3 billion disabled people around the world,
Yep.
and we have a spending power of $8 trillion.
We've got the
So
same stats. It's totally right.
when you put that into context, it makes great business sense too, not just for the disabled person, but from a customer basis and as well as a consumer business. So I personally think that it's definitely something that everyone needs to have, every business needs to install. But there is a bit of a conundrum of, you need people to request, don't you? The way it works is you need people to request to have these places have Welcome.
Yeah, well, the truth is, I could go around and I could approach businesses and I could say, will you install this? And they might say yes. But am I really helping people if I do that? I'm about empowerment. I want people to tell me where they want it. If every venue I installed or we installed this in had 2 or 3 disabled people who said that they wanted it in that venue, then I'd actually be addressing the issues that are out there. If I put it in 20 buildings that nobody's ever going to visit, I'm not really addressing anything. So I want people to be a part of it. I want people to say where they want it. And yeah, download the app, go to the setting or set up a profile, go to the settings and say where you want it. We've got about 400 requests. We've got people are requesting Tesco's and IKEA and little coffee shops in their local area or their council building or a swimming pool. We've just been given funding by the National Lottery to put it into 50 sports venues for free. So people just telling us which sports venues they want it in. And we're going to be launching in Manchester, Exeter, Hull, hopefully, Kent, Leeds, a lot of these Coventry, a lot of these places where people have been requesting venues. But if there's a venue you don't have a venue near you yet, there's a reason for that. It's because you haven't said you want it. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I'm just desperate to work out, because I've had people can be very critical, and I understand that, and I take it on board. People have said, yeah, but I don't want to use an app to get better assistance. And I go, yeah, no problem at all. The truth is, if you use an app, Sassy, and you get better assistance, the next 4 or 5 guide dog owners that walk into a shop behind you or after you are all going to get better assistance because you trained a staff member by walking through the door. So you don't need to use the app. And also in the app, you can say you don't want any assistance. So this isn't about somebody coming up and doing stuff to you. This is about you choosing what stuff you want done for you. Yeah. That's ultimately what it's all about. But yeah, this is empowering disabled people. Guys, get out there and tell me where you want it and I'll do it.
Absolutely. It's about having equity, and it's also about a disabled person having autonomy over themselves without feeling the need to have these same dreary conversations again and again and again with members of the public. Whether it's well-meaning or not, it doesn't mean that it's not exhausting. And as I joked earlier, if a disabled person is giving training or telling their story, they should be paid for their time. You wouldn't go up to an able-bodied person and ask them about their sex life or how they get dressed in the morning and that they're an inspiration. So don't think it's okay to do that just because the person is disabled.
Yeah, the person who's standing in front of you is just another person. Yeah. And they just need help. In fact, you're in a position to either sell them something or provide a service. Just treat them like you know them already. In fact, no, with Welcome, you'll already know them. So even if it's somebody that's watching this who works in a business where they think this would be a great thing, this isn't just about disabled people. The people who work in the business can say to their boss, they might be the boss, they might go, you know what, we need that. Especially now, because we live in a world where people are now wanting to open up again, but be better than they were before. Mm-hmm. And we never have a chance to do this. We're all playing stop right now. Now, when we start again, we want to be better than we were.
Absolutely. So where can people find you out in the world, Gavin? And basically, what are your plans for the next year onwards?
Ooh, okay, right. They can find me, Welcome. Welcome by Neatebox is on, you'll find it. In fact, if people put in, do a search for Welcome, I think it's well-co.me is the name of the website. Well, W-E-L -co.me. And people will get to the website and find it that way. However, people can also find me on Twitter at Gavin Neate or at Welcome or Welcome_CS, I think it is, which is customer service, and all that stuff. And you'll find me out there. There's plenty. If you just did a search online for Gavin Neate, you're going to find more than you could possibly want. And definitely going to find more than you want.
And you'll be in great stead because you'll be rubbing shoulders virtually with award-winning global change makers. So
hell yeah, come on,
go get following, and I'll make sure to leave all the social media as well as Welcome in the descriptions below. But yes, tell us before we end this, tell us what's your plans for the next year, and basically where you hope Welcome's going to be.
Well, you hinted at it there. There are 1.3 billion disabled people, and they have this £8 trillion spending, or $8 trillion, I think it is, spending power. I want this this is live in the UK and Ireland right now, but we're just about to launch a web-based application. So currently an app is you download the app and you've got an app on your phone. A web-based app looks like an app, but you're actually linking to a website, which looks like an app. So we're just about to launch that, which means that we can be launched anywhere in the world. So the United States, Australia, Canada, the Middle East, China, South Africa, anywhere in the world can be able to use this app. And ultimately, this time next year, we want to have launched in multiple countries around the world, a bit like Be My Eyes or any of these amazing companies. The truth is that this doesn't exist anywhere in the world. So we're the first. And I want to make sure that we have the capability to deliver that. I don't want to be successful in another country before I am successful in the UK. So guys, if you're watching this, let's make this successful in the UK first.
Thank you so much for your time, Gavin. And once again, guys, I will leave all of the links in the description box below. And when this episode is live, I'll make sure to tag Gavin so you can follow him too. Thank you so much for your time, and make sure to check out the app.
Follow Sassy at Sassy Wyatt or Sassy Wyatt Official.